that's always 5 hours by myself. It's tough. I can't even take myself for 5 hours.
Hey, when you go on these trips, do you take your wife with you, like to France and all?
To France, yeah, I take her to
I
that.
bet. Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
go too.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, she does. She's definitely going for, yeah. Keeps me out of trouble.
That's nice. That gives you company too. That's nice.
Yeah,
And
it's really,
then it's more
you
like a
got it.
vacation after the class,
Oh,
So
it is. So it's basically a paid vacation. The thing is, when you go to do those workshops, you don't get paid very much.
no.
It's and usually if you can't find, if you don't have your own students and stuff, you can make, might not make anything. So I got to send that again. I sent it to the wrong person. I can be happy. So 1 second here.
Well, think of all the people that you're influencing. That's great.
Yeah, yeah. I hopefully, you know, ooh, my class starting. My warning. Thank you. Uh, yeah, I'm trying to influence people, but
No, you are. You're a great teacher.
oh, thanks. Yeah, you always worry about, are you teaching them the right things
Why
and
would you
stuff.
think that? Of course you are.
I know. But that's just always that in the back of your head. Is there, if I'm saying this right, or am I right? It's always those little things in your head. But
I think that no matter where the people are in your class, it's always a challenge,
yeah,
So I think you learn a lot. I've learned
yeah.
a lot. I've learned to, well, first of all, I paint so much faster because I try to keep up with you. So I used to it used to take me weeks. Now I'm like, holy crap, I got to get this done in 2 hours. So I'm throwing the paint on the canvas, but it's fun. It's better, it's freer.
Oh, good. That's half the thing, is you prepare to yourself to be thrown into it, right?
Absolutely.
Let me see, get this right. There we go. Hopefully this works today.
Get down. You're a good girl. Get down. Get down.
Oh, there she is. Everybody's here. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Allison.
Hi, Cindy.
How you doing?
Oh, I'm okay. Unfortunately I can't stay because of my father's having some issues, and I have to go over to his place.
Oh, you're having
But
great luck today. I just told him I can't paint either. We're just having great luck today.
What happened? No one wants to paint this.
No, I love it. Anyway, this weekend is a bank holiday, which means it's a 3-day weekend. So I'm looking forward to doing it tomorrow.
Okay. No worries. We always have Sarah. Yeah, she'll always be there for us.
Yes.
So just her and me will be painting this one.
Really?
So, no. Well, there's a couple other people, Mindy and Anne Marie and stuff, but Anne Marie's putting her dog down today. It's morning, so
no.
I don't expect her to be here. And
that's so sad. I'm sorry.
Oh, isn't it? Yeah, she is just dog. What can you do?
Didn't you just get another dog or something? Anne Marie?
Yeah, she did get a second dog now. So hopefully that will help with the help. But man, you know how it goes when you lose an animal. It's just like,
I've been down that road so many times. It's terrible.
I know.
Yeah.
So you're just lucky you do have a second animal to sort of help out, but they never do, not as much.
No.
So anyway, so she might join, but maybe not. I don't want to say. Okay. Today, yeah, we're going to be painting this egret. And
I like the waves. The waves are beautiful.
Oh,
yeah,
the waves
I love that.
I think, yeah, this is down in Florida. Friend sent it to us. But before I get going on that, I wanted to, you guys had a couple questions about putting it on glazes and stuff to finish some of these things off, to fix things. And so I wanted to do that. Here, let me get everything rolling here. So I was gonna do a quick one on this, and I'll bring you guys in on close on it. But also, so it's just a little different than normal. I think since you guys are gonna be gone and stuff really soon here, so I'll just do this really quick. I'm just gonna put a little glaze on this, over this back end and on the fish. I don't mind one of the things on this one, I don't mind this area too much, but I'll see what goes on. But I was just going to definitely glaze this guy back. He's just a little bit bright. He stands out way too much.
So is that why you would glaze? Is because you think that it's too bright for the picture?
Yes.
I mean, what I guess what's the purpose of glazing is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, it could be as simple as a highlight being too bright, toning it down.
So when you do glaze, I know you're going to show us this, but then do you have to cover the whole painting?
No. You can do one spot. You can do one little area. I could just glaze this fish back, you know, and that'd be fine. But I want to glaze this guy back too. He's not. I want to. He's dead. He's not doing anything there. So I can put a glaze on top of him and use all the strokes I have that are in this guy. And by putting a glaze on it of color, sometimes it brings out things. You'll bring out the darks a little bit stronger. And then you can also wipe back the glaze a little bit and keep the highlights if you need to and stuff. So I was just going to show you, and of course I'm just going to do it. Usually when you do glazes, you try to use more transparent colors with your thing. I'll be using a Gelkid. That's just a regular drying medium. That's what I use. Some people can use linseed oil, just regular oil and stuff, and do it too. But I like to use Gelkid or liquid, the thin liquid, just because I think it binds better with the old paint and stuff.
Jim, do you ever use that Gelkin or the liquid when you paint? I mean, when you paint really. Regular?
If I, plein air and stuff, I should be using it because it would dry faster and I could get it out of the place without destroying the painting. But I usually I just don't like the feel of it normally on my paintings. It's a little thick, and I like to go back, paint wet into wet, and that gives me, when I paint wet into wet, it gives me an extra couple days of painting. But if you did the dryer and stuff, you get the half day to paint.
Oh, is that the whole purpose of liquid then? Is for a drying agent?
Yeah, it's just a drying agent and stuff. Yeah. So that's what happened. So this thing will be dry today by the end of the day. Here, I'm going to switch you guys over and show you what I'm talking about, mixing and stuff. So I'll switch to my other camera here. Oh, it flipped over. Sorry. Does that sometimes.
Look.
Sorry about that.
There you go.
Oh, you guys are all screwed up. So this is what I'll be using. This I just poured a little bit in here. I'll pour some more in. This is Gout. It's just a little bottle of it. It just dries. I don't use much. I mean, I just put in. It goes a little bit, goes a long ways. But I will not be using my good brushes. I usually use an old brush that I'm about ready to, get rid of. That's still clean, like this one. This one's, pretty much had it. There's not much left to it. It's already spraying out everything. And I'm only gonna. You can use multicolors and do these things, but I usually try to keep it very simple and just use one color for these first ones till I get going. So I'll put out the glaze first. I'm gonna see what, of course, phthalo green does. And this is how thin it is. It's just that thin. A little more Goukid than anything else. So it's really like a transparent color. You can see it even on here, how that going over a painting, when it dries, it will stay like that. It's just going to shift the colors. And the thing is, this is green going over blues and some other purples and stuff. So there's going to be some reaction with the color going over different colors. Stuff. It's not going to just look like green going over purple and stuff. You're going to get some interesting effects going on. So that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm going to be working with.
So
I usually
phthalo green is a transparent color.
Yes, phthalo green is a transparent color. You can see it like this. You can see how transparent it is. Yeah. The thing about using here, like this is CAD red.
Oh, I see.
That's an opaque.
It's not transparent. I see.
That will cover up things. That's a different kind of glazing. When you really need to redo things, make big changes, then you have to use opaques. But when you're just shifting a color or making killing a highlight that's too strong, a simple glaze of this is like I usually use phthalo green, or the blue we have is a transparent color.
Okay.
And alizarin is a transparent color.
Those three
guys, so you can use those. I do have a yellow that's transparent, but not many more. The rest of these guys are. Wait! I do have transparent oxide. So it should be pretty easy to figure out what you need pretty easily. These colors, and this is enough color right here to redo that whole painting. I mean, to glaze that whole painting. I don't use a lot of color. I use more glaze medium than anything else. But as you can see how they start to mix, you can mix these guys too and still get a lot of colors and stuff. You don't get just the primaries. You can mix these guys and get the whole range of colors. So if I wanted a purple, I could use these two together and make a purple. So purple blue, purple red, and they're just really thin. And usually I just keep using oil into it. And to clean your brush, I have to use safflower oil to clean my brush. And if it's drying too fast, you can add safflower oil to your medium, which will give you a little bit more time, and it will still dry fast. But anyway, so but this first one, I'm just going to do phthalo green for this one and show you what it does. I'll bring you switch cameras and bring you in real quick. Make sure I have enough. They said that was enough, but I kind of messed it up with some oxide red there. So that's okay. I'll show you guys what happens. A little bit of a demo. I think we'll be all right time-wise on the other one. I'll bring you in really close because I don't need much. This is one of the ones, it's really not any drawing at all. So I'm just going to work on this fish here. So just grabbing the pot and the thing. There's a couple ways to go about this. How strong you want to make it. If I put down this stuff, I still even have a little bit on here, but if you put down the Gal Kid first, you know, and I haven't done anything, but I mean, if you put it down first, you can wipe it out pretty much to clear, right? But I'm just gonna do his belly here. So you put it in a little bit strong. You can take care of these. You're gonna get a lot more transparency is gonna start to show up in these things. So you push it all back. Nice thing is when it goes over orange and stuff, you get some nice reactions here. This is one we did on Monday night, but we painted a different fish for you guys, but it turned out too well. I don't need it. This one was just a little flat. And this is just phthalo green, and I can just put it heavily, a little bit more heavy in certain areas, and then put it a little lighter in other areas. And it's just basically just that little amount. And like I said,
so cool.
I want to look, yeah. So just now it feels more like it's underwater, a little bit more things. And if I wanted to, I could just keep going. I could just build it up. This is what the old masters did. You know, you could really just build it up, but they did theirs over weeks and stuff, but because they didn't have the drying agents quite like we. So you do it layers by layers by layers. But then if you didn't like it, you pretty much can wipe it all the way out.
I like it.
And just so that's just what I was looking around going, well, that's what this one needs. This one needs a little bit of glazing, and you mentioned you wanted to see it, so.
No, I appreciate you showing us.
Yeah, so I'll just ruin this piece. That's no big deal. But let's see over here. Let's see. I'm gonna push it over here, and I'll do this guy real quick. Same colors, maybe. Yeah, let's do the same colors.
I guess my question is, how do you decide what color that you're going to glaze with?
You just do a little touch, and you see over here and see if it, what it does.
That's what you want to do? Okay.
If that's what I want to do, if it darkens it. Or I could go, here's red. Do I do red? Or do I do blue? Or do I just warm it up? So there, you got options. You don't have to, live with whatever you do too. Sometimes you can take it off. So see if blue does anything. It almost gets lost. And then you got your oxide red here. It doesn't, not right. So you can always just wipe it off. Do tests, always helps out. So, but I think you might be able to see. This is why I just try to keep it really simple. I'm not going to try and do too much. But sometimes the phthalo green just in water and stuff like this will bring out these guys a little bit better. Bring out the silver in them.
I see. It gives it a whole different dimension.
Yeah, all of a sudden it changes and it comes forward a little bit more. Before it didn't have anything; it just kind of sat here. And now all of a sudden the purples are starting to show up a little bit stronger than blues. So that's the kind of things you look for. There you go. And if I don't like I said, you can lighten it up and just by wiping it back all the way, pretty much, and then play with it a little bit. So you got plenty of time just to do those things. So that helps. It's interesting.
That helped a lot. Thank you, Jen.
Okay. Yeah, that's all I do. And then make sure you clean your brush well. You know, like I said, also don't use a good brush. I mean, detail wise, you're gonna do a really good one. Watch it. I mean, just make sure you clean your brushes out really well. That will dry sticky and stuff. All right. Speaking of that, put that back away. Get off there. Okay. Thanks for joining me, guys. I'll see you all next. Well, we're the last one, and you guys are all taking off on me.
Oh no, Sarah's being star student. She's carrying the weight of all of us on her shoulders.
He's gonna have to do a lot of talking. Anyway,
I'll stay as long as I can, Jim, till the company comes.
No worries. Thank you, Cindy.
Thank you.
Okay, well, I'm gonna love you and leave you guys, and I'll see you next term. Yeah.
Yeah. We probably in a couple weeks.
Okay.
All
Bye,
right.
Allison. Have a good one.
Yeah. Good luck with your dad.
You too. Yeah. Thanks. All right. Bye.
Bye. Okay, we can talk about Allison and Sean. So no. Anyway, so this is what we'll be doing today. We're going to be doing a egret down in Florida and stuff. It should be fun. I painted these before, and they come out pretty nice. I like egrets and the herring. They're herons. Sorry, herons. They're herrings of fish. Herons. They're so neat. We have a few of them up north. So egrets are cool, very cool white ones. So we will be looking at those. Let me pick it up and bring it, take a look at it with you guys. We'll talk about design of this thing. It's pretty simple. We're not going to be doing have major changes or anything in it. Okay, here we go. Yeah, interesting bird, very interesting bird. And being white, it's just all that reflective color in it. You know, it's so gorgeous to see, these oranges, these yellow oranges coming into it. And then you get all these purples up here, and then you get a little phthalo green in here. You can almost see all those same colors right in here, right? I mean, pretty much those are the same colors into the water. So just different degrees. Should be interesting to paint. Let me see that. Close this down. Okay, yeah, its head, has that little eye, yellow, strong beak. Look how sharp that beak is. Yeah, you can see how they just use spear fish with that. And beautiful, graceful, S curve to it. So, and those little spindly legs. Those will probably be putting in with a palette knife and just touching it and softening it. I always like putting them in really, thinly, almost thinner than they are. You always feel so spindly. Okay. And the rest is pretty much water, unless you guys want to talk about the sky forever. I mean, we can look at that sky and you go, oh, geez, we could take forever to paint that. Now, the sky pretty dull. What I will be doing back there is I'll probably be adding a ship, a sail. Sail. It's just a triangle of light. Just try and make sure it's not very bright. It will be very dull color wise. Basically, I'll have a lot of sky probably mixed in with the sail. So it needs to be subtle, maybe a couple of ships, back there, just to add some life to it back there. There's no reason to paint an area that doesn't have any excitement in it. So that's what I'm going to be looking at. Of course, the waves. Waves are fun. Okay, we just got done with palette knife last week.
Oh yeah, some of us
yeah.
had a disaster. Oh my God. I had more paint on me than I did on the canvas, I'll tell you.
Well, I mean, this is a really good place to pull out the palette knife at the end. When you see stuff like this kind of action kind of stuff, it's nice to be able to pull that out and use that.
You mean on the white part or the?
Yeah, on the white part, the froth and the stuff. I think that would be kind of fun to kind of adds a lot to it. Sometimes you can really create a lot of action with the same color without, because we're walking white into white. You don't get a whole, your colors are going to have a hard time standing out. So sometimes the only thing you have to play with is thickness of the paint to make it jump. And that's what happens here when you get these highlights in here, these light ones. Sometimes it's warms against cools, but even at that, when it's so high degree of lightness, the only thing you got to play with is thickness of paint, and that's where different stroke, different angle of a stroke. But then you get the knife, the last resort, the knife, and the knife usually comes through on that stuff. Really, sometimes it's just texture will recreate that. And it's not going to be too much, really. I mean, I can get that done pretty easy. This one back here, I wouldn't be putting hardly half as much. I won't be using too much palette knife back here. I want to keep it a lot simpler than this one. I don't want to have too strong waves in the painting, because that's going to take all the power away from the first wave. If you have one back there, I mean, that one's really good there. There's some good stuff there, and you do get a little bit of more overflow of water there coming over, the creation of the wave. That's a little, this spot here is a little bit weird. This line here makes, I'd rather have it at an angle. I think that'd be, more natural than it would feel better in a painting if it had a little more angle to it. So instead of straight down. So it won't be so obnoxious. Straight down, just everybody looks at it and goes, hey. So everything else is usually look at these angles you got here from the waves, really strong ones coming in. And then something like that just kind of just stops you. So instead of having that, just having something going back like that drifts, it's so much better. So that's how I fix that little stuff. But all this other stuff, boy, this is some good stuff in here. Well, good water. I love painting water, and it's just can be simple. It doesn't have to be, crazy. It can be pretty simple. So that's what I'm going to be working at, trying to keep it simple, especially when you got a lot of colors down in here to deal with, and then at the bottom of this painting, you have this, you do have a lot more little lines here going on and stuff, and it will be going to be kind of interesting to get to these guys, to figure out how to make these guys work. A lot of times you put them, I'll be just throwing them in with the palette knife at the end, and sometimes that just really works well, and then just moving them around. So I'm just hopefully that will work, but most of it's going to be brush. But I'm just saying, pull out the knife when you can. It will be very useful in this painting. And highlights. Yeah, it's really, really big highlights. Anything like in here, and then a few in the waves and only a few back in here. Don't get too caught up with the ones back in here. Anything in the very blue back there, subtle. They are not half as bright as anything in front. Those back, anything you put back in there, if I'm going to put a highlight back in here, I'm going to pick it out with my eraser. I'm just going to touch it back there, and that's the way to put them in, because that way you don't get a, jump in your face brightness. Where if you put them in with paint, you're going to get areas like this, popping in your face. You don't want all your highlights to be the same either. Same strength. That's the whole thing. It's UV. They hit you all the same way. They flattens out the painting, or flattens out an area. So you got to mix up a few. That's why I'm always mixing up the reds, the yellows, and the blues highlights to put in there. So we'll be using those. Okay, let's see what else. The egret itself, we talked about. The design's pretty nice. Like I said, it has a nice sway to it, going back and forth in here. Just keep that going. Remember, you could even take more angles on these guys. Just a slight more would be fine too. It won't be, you can, that would give it a little bit more, slight more energy, but we'll see. I mean, it's beautiful the way it is. If we can make it anything better, we'll try. But I think we're in really good shape. Probably the biggest little goofy thing on here is probably going to be the way that rock, or that little area comes at the bottom here. This area. This area here is where his feet connect, and this rock here, you might want to give it a little bit more room here between the rock and his feet. That might be a little bit of a little thing I might think about, or give this rock a slight more angle back into the painting, because it's kind of dead or downward. Let me see which one would work better. Sometimes, you feel like it go down, and sometimes it just makes everything else better. Yeah, slightly. If you go down, you can have no problem at all with the feet and area. So if you took this tip and just brought it down like that, just that thing. That's all you need. Just keep it up out here and just shift it down a little bit. We'll try. That's an idea. Otherwise, the bird's good shape, not too big, not too small, easy to work on. Things, you don't have to deal with feet. The back tail feathers are pretty simple. There's not a whole lot of things. He's very smooth. You barely can see. Even when you blow it up this much, you can't even see too much going on back there. So he is very smooth. There's a little bit of stuff hairs back in here. It is kind of a, it's not a, super high res photo. So, we have to deal with what we have, work with what we have here. You're not going to see a lot of feather details and stuff. So we're just going to play with it. Keep it all. It's going to be, think of it as a very good impressionist painting. It has all the qualities for one, like a beach scene, one of those old Monet beach scenes, or just that bright light and the coolness and things. Should be very fun to paint. So, any questions? Okay, let's get over to the canvas, or over to the palette, and get painting. Right, Sarah?
Yeah.
It's just, this is what happens, just these classes. They'll catch up. you know, don't have to paint it later. So the kit is pretty simple. Definitely going to need, your white, nice white. This is a titanium white, cad yellow light, cad red light, cad orange. This is just a ochre. This is a red ochre or a gold ochre or something like that. This could be Terra Rosa, Lizarin, or this color here, Terra Rosa could be oxide red light, and it could be Venetian. Here, just a warm red. Alizarin crimson. Getting all some colors out of here that got mixed in. Cobalt blue hue by Utrecht. Phthalo green. I do have some oxide red. No, this is transparent oxide red. Here you can see. Oh, and then here up here, this is a cad red medium I was using on a different painting. So I'm not sure I'll be using it, but these guys, if you burn on bird sienna here, would be good too. It might be a nice color to tone the canvas with. It'll come in handy probably in the rocks. Sorry. Color wise, this isn't too bad. Let me see. Got to pull it up. There might be a little, I think the blues are probably a little strong. That's way too bright. But it's just really that blue that goes through here. That's way too bright. Everything else seems pretty good. You got some nice richness to it. Okay, so let's make up our colors. Let's start off with the water. That's going to be one of our main painting colors. And it's going to go through here pretty heavily. So you might want to mix up a lot of it. A couple of these things. So a good amount, So I'm going to start off with blue. And I'm going to put phthalo green in it. One's going to be more on the green side. This one. And then the other one I'll make a little bit less green. It'll be more blue. So that should work out pretty good. So this one's just a little bit more blue. This one's a little bit more green. We add white to them. They should, really get the colors we need. All right, then you're going to need some, I'm going to go with blue again and alizarin. Don't need quite as much of this, so these piles don't have to be quite as big. One in the alizarin side. These just make a really nice dark sometimes when you got this kind of a warm light. You got these cool shadows. Sometimes just these alizarin. Oops, that's a lot of alizarin. Now it's supposed to be blue. Oh well. I'll fix it if I have to. Those will look so nice around his feet or in his legs, that kind of stuff, or his beak. That kind of little stuff should jump out really nice. All right, then we're going to get to a lot of these oranges and greens and stuff. Let's start with those. Again, phthalo green we'll be bringing it out here. I'm going to go with oxide red, or here with phthalo green. This will give me start to give me some of these red browns I need for down in here, down in the bottom here. Definitely one on the green side, one on the green side, one on the red side. Always good to have. Because when we really take it down and stuff, you're going to get a lot of good colors for the water out of this. These colors, any of these phthalo greens, and I mix with warms. Let's try one different one here. That was oxide red light. This one's going to be, let's try transparent oxide red. And I'm going to put a ton more. I have to use a lot more transparent oxide. If this is burnt sienna, this would be the same thing. You have to add a lot of oxide transparent to it because phthalo green's so strong compared to it. But when you bring it down, you get these red greens, you know, and this kind of goes a little golden, where these guys stay on the kind of more of a red side. So pretty much, you know, that could be your painting right there. At least for this bottom area, you're gonna find you're gonna get a lot of that good stuff. A couple of these orange greens we got to get in the water, and that basically, like I said, orange green. So it's going to be green and cat orange. Lots of cat orange, the phthalo green. This one, as you can see, just starts to get in here. It gets a few of these spots, but it still needs to be almost pure cat orange and just a little scraping of phthalo green. And I think that one's probably still too much. And take up all my phthalo green or phthalo or cat orange. Get that one right, and we're just going to leave it there. As you can see, it's not working. That's a little bit too much. Let me try a different color. Let's try something else to make this color. I'm going to go phthalo green and cad yellow. And a little bit more phthalo green. And you start to get this day glow color. It's just so bright in here. All it needs is just a scraping of red into it. Just a scraping of cad red. Just a scraping of it. Just a dot or two of it in here. Just to make it behave. Just like making trying to do cad orange in here, which is basically cad yellow and cad red mixed together, you know. But I got that. I wanted to go really kind of a stronger color in here, day glowish, just for a couple spots in this waves. And that should do it. I might add just a touch of white to it. Just to make it behave. Sometimes just flatten it out a little bit so it doesn't get so intense. Okay, so that's about it. So we'll have to get some. These are my big brushes. Bristles. A lot of bristles is going to be used today. Going to be using pretty much everything we've used all sessions. So I'm going to take these colors, take them down. These guys going to really knock down value wise. If you look back in here, just a little 10/10. That is probably still around a 7. So that's how much white we'll be adding to these colors to make them 7. These guys, let's see, these guys like warmer colors. See what happens. You'll get a lot of the bird colors of these guys too. So just enough white. What I'm going to go for is the water behind the bird value back in here. So as you can tell, yes, a little bit more white added into that color. This is just blue and phthalo green, but it's mostly on the blue side. It starts getting there. Still a little dark. Not by much. It is a 7. Maybe we'll have to go to the 6. That's good enough. You can always lighten it up or darken it up. We have options. Get everything off my knife. Probably ain't gonna need that much paint, but it's always good to have. This one's phthalo green, more phthalo green. Let's see if it shows up. And that one, it's just a little too close to that color compared to what I need. I'm gonna add some more phthalo green to this color. Now it's getting better. You can almost see where I can get those colors from. Now I have to add some more white. There we go. Like that. So that's the right value. I'm gonna go just a hair lighter. I'm gonna take these colors probably down a little bit more too. A couple more steps. But it's starting to get in there. So I was thinking most of the stuff is gonna be blue, but it looks like it's more on the phthalo green side values. Okay. Getting everything off my knife. Okay, Lizarins and blue. You could get some nice purples. You're gonna find those guys in this bottom area, and then probably in the bird we'll probably be able to find some areas for it. Gonna find it probably in the. We're gonna put some definitely in these waves back here because they are kind of flat, and they don't have to be quite that flat. But they're still gonna be a little bit higher key than this. This is on the blue side, as you can see. I just took it a little bit too far, but it will work down in here. I don't really need it too strong. I need it more in the light areas because it's going to fall down in here too. But that's on the next stage. So let's see where to get these warmer colors. You start to get some of the bird colors out of these. It's on the that's the red side. This is on the green side. As you can see, that should be on, this one needs to go. These are too close colors, so that one needs to go more red into it before I can get a little separate, no reason to have it on the palette. It's the same color. I'll make it a little bit too much red, but I probably can use it down in here. So just a little bit more phthalo green in that color. And I'll add some white just to not take the red just a little bit more. I'm just going to leave it there and I'm going to lighten it up. Well, let's see what it did to this oxide, the transparent colors.
This is almost pure. This has hardly any phthalo green in it. That's why it's turning out kind of the brown here. I can use all over here. This side, you can see the green just was going to pop out of this area too. That's not bad. That's a nice warm, color. You can see how that's going to fit in here. It's going to be all over this bird. So remember that color, phthalo green, transparent oxide. Okay, these are just oranges and cad phthalo green with white. Did not go very strong in the thing, but I was hoping it's going to give me the sand color, a few things here. It's going to get into the bird and it's going to get little places throughout. And that's all it needs, is just to get it just off that orange color. And because we have so much of that green, blue and stuff, this little color here would be so beautiful in it. It definitely made a way too big a pile for it. But that's supposed to be on the orange side. That's a little bit more on the green side of the thing. I might even take and do, since I have so much of this, just a little bit more phthalo green side. This is just a little bit too much orange there for things. And then, you start to get, look at that. One more touch more. And you start to get the wave colors. Oops, that's a lot of phthalo green. But you start to get this kind of stuff, that when you start matching that stuff. That's all you need, a few things like that. And then we got our bright color down in here. We'll be throwing in, and this is just phthalo green, cad yellow, just a little bit of cad red into it. And it'll be, it's going to go into some of these oranges too. This color is going to be thrown in, and I should be able to get all these colors here. Don't have this color here. That's a nice one, but that's basically these two colors mixed together, and you get that color. So that's, just a little pile in intermixing, and you're gonna have enough paint, enough colors to paint pretty much everything. So yeah, that's what I'll be doing when I need these areas back in here. You got this bright cad yellow. You throw it into one of these blues here, and you're gonna get some really nice colors back in here. Gonna use the green, this green side here, the green and the alizarin or phthalo green and the blue mix here. I'll be using that more up front, and the cooler blue farther back. I'll just give you distance. Okay, the bird itself, we got its eye probably right here, or we can add a little red to it, cad red to it, and get it. We got the rocks down up here easily. We start to get a lot of the froth and things right in here from here. Basically, you just need the high key colors left. I'm going to try and use some of these guys for the high key colors. We'll take some of this orange, just a little bit of orange. Take cool colors, some purples, some blues, pinks. So I put alizarin out. Got blue with alizarin. Got that. I might I'll put out a cad yellow. So got cad yellow, kind of a cad orange, alizarin in blue. This is phthalo green in blue. And this is alizarin by itself. What I'm going to do is just add a ton of white to each one of these colors. These would be my high key last little bit of color things you put in that pop, make the painting pop. This will come in like really good on the highlights of this guy at the end. See, it's on the orange side. Just this. I might cheat it, and just have one little piece of it, just a touch more darker. Yeah, you can really nails it. Then you need a cool version of that. You got purples. These are also be highlight colors. You know, dots in here. I'm running out of white. And then you got these. These are definitely, I could use these. Oh boy. Definitely going to use that. And then alizarin. Yes, a little too strong. I knew I put out too much. I was thinking about in here, but it's still a little bit much. And I need a ton more white. Let's see what that does. Nail it down. Just use what is on my knife here, or else I'll never get it light enough. So you got these little pinks. You got some warm ones. You got pinks, and you got blues and purples, yellows. I think, you know, that's a good one to start with. But I was also thinking I might want to take a few of these colors down a little bit. Just a couple more steps. I think that one's pretty much, I don't need to do anything to it. I think it's still going to be enough. I'm looking at really this close area here as we come closer. I might need a few more spots. Just these kind of grayed out colors. These will end up probably being more water even. These will be all this stuff down in here. Just all the same key. And they should be just lovely down there. I'll get a lot of the bird colors out of this stuff too, especially these warms here. These little become nice little beiges. All these little beiges going on. All right. Barely tell the difference between these ones. This has a little bit more yellow in it. This green one, heavier on the green. Ooh, that's nice. Look at that. That's a nice seafoam green, fat cat orange, and green. Oh boy, that's going to be beautiful in there. It's a nice one to have. And like I said, a lot of these colors, going to be a lot of intermixing. So that's why I made this pile here. Going to be going in here, but it's going to be mixing with these guys too. And it should be able to get all this stuff pretty easy. Okay, going through the colors. Start off with cobalt blue hue with phthalo green. This is on the blue side. This is on the green side. Coming down with white to about a 7. And then coming down again to probably 4s and 3s. That's the thing is, the only really bright things in this painting are the froth of the waves. So it's really mid-tones we're going to hit this painting with. Glycerin and cobalt blue, red side, blue side coming down. Over here we have oxide red light with phthalo green coming down again. These are beautiful colors right here, these blue grays. Over here we did I did transparent oxide with phthalo green. A lot of transparent, not much phthalo green. That's why we could get this red browns. And then you come down here and you get some nice beiges coming down here. Over here we just did phthalo green, phthalo green and cad orange. A lot of cad orange, barely any phthalo green. So this one you can barely see I used hardly any phthalo green in. And coming down, got down here, I had some little bit of phthalo green left over and put it in. So we had a little bit stronger one because these are really on the orange side. So a little bit more on the phthalo green side. That's a great sea foam. It really just opens up that whole line of colors when you come down here and stuff. It really gonna make those purples pop. Over here we did just phthalo green, cad yellow, just a touch of cad red into it, but it's a lot of cad yellow. And then over here, these are just little intermixings of what I'm thinking about for this area down in here. When we need to make these colors change a little bit, they catch more sunlight closer here. So it'd be just intermixing between these two. The cad yellow, or the green, light green, and the watercolors. Over here, we just took pieces of color, took the oranges, we took the purples, we took the aquas, and then I put out a alizarin and I put out cad yellow and put white in them, and got them as bright as I could, and I added some more white to this one. Alizarin was just gonna, it was just a little strong there. This cad yellow here could probably go, just white and just a little bit of cad yellow too for a highlight. Get it as high, just a little bit, like these guys play with. But that's what we can do. I think that's what we'll do the painting. It should be fun. As you can see, that sky back there is more phthalo greenish, on the red side than it would be anywhere else. So interesting, always interesting. Color's great. All right, let's get busy. Bring this in up here and I'll tip it.
Jim?
Yeah. How you
It
doing?
was interesting. It was interesting to watch you mix your colors instead of trying to mix them with you for a change. Because my colors always seem to turn out so differently. I guess it's so important for the ratio and maybe it's even important for the quality of the paints. I don't know.
Quality does make a giant difference. I have used cheap brands before, in emergencies. Yeah, you're never going to get the intensity of the CADs that you want. I mean, you got to, and I'd say, yeah, if you're going to go with any, Rembrandt would be a great one to go with because they're a good price and their quality, and they really will lighten up your paintings. So not just
Lighten
because
up? I mean, they brighten them up. Looks like the pigment is stronger in some of them or something like that.
yeah, that too. I mean, that really that's what helps brighten them up without, a lot of times it just dulls them out and stuff instead of really jacking them up. And that's what really adds to your paintings. That's why these paintings can be so bright and so vivid.
So it's worth the price to go for the better paint.
In those colors, yeah. Everything else is just minerals or dirt, you know, burnt umbers, burnt siennas, any of that stuff, the ochres, they're all just dirt, basic dirt colors, and they're cheap. No reason to spend a lot of money on those. But the other ones, even I even use a knockoff. Don't tell everybody, but I use the student grade phthalo green blue. Now, if I'm buying it, I'm using, because it's just almost as strong, and phthalo green's crazy strong anyway. It gets on your hands, it doesn't come off.
What brand is that then? What student brand is that?
That was just a Van Gogh.
Oh, okay.
It's another version of Rembrandt, just their lower student grade. It works great. Utrecht for good paints. I love Utrecht. Basically I grew up on Utrecht because those paints were cheap, but they're really good quality. Let's see who else. I mean, there's Winsor Newton are always great.
Would you say Utrecht is as good as Rembrandt in the cans?
They're okay. They're good enough. They're good enough. They are good enough.
I do like the blue you use. I like that a lot.
Oh yeah, that's and for years I would never use phalos. I wouldn't use a phthalo color, and then I find out to make that cobalt blue hue, they use blue phthalo in it. And so it's like, oh shit, And then the phthalo green I got from Collie Wisson in his workshops, using it. And it just really just adds so much to your paintings instead of adding yellow to your blues to make green. Sometimes you're starting with just one green and being another extra dark, in my, because I've only had blue and alizarin to make my darks, and then getting that really just added a lot to the paintings. All right. So again, I'm not going to make this too small. It's really kind of small there. The horizon line there. I'll just get rid of it. I don't want this also to be banded. Feel like a band back here, where each one of these are the same size. So really, that's another thing. If I'm going to make one big, I can take this wave here and just kind of just give it a little bit more of an angle too. It's a little straight with the horizon, so it's just going to add just a little bit more things to it, make it a little bit smaller maybe too. It does have some nice little curves in front of it. Anyway, that's that one. The other one, bringing that in there, the swing in here like this, really get it to be powerful. So maybe just a touch bigger and stuff like that. So not everything's the same size here. So we got little changes in size.
You get down here and right where it starts to hit the beach, and the sand gets kicked up into the colors. Right in here, maybe I could bring this down just a little bit lower. Like I said, this rock here, just give it a little bit more angle. Coming down would be more interesting. It just feels a little straight there. Well, transparent water. It's really cool. Little wave hips. Keep that down there. The bird's going to go in here, pretty much. But I'm not going to draw the bird in. The bird's easy to pick out color wise. Darkest thing on him is his beak and his legs. No reason to, worry. He's a simple shape, should be easy to draw in. So I'm not going to jump in here and do that. I don't want to do. Don't want to paint around him. I'd rather be able to get all this good stuff in here, and then come back and put him in. Then it should work out pretty easy. Shouldn't have any problems. A little more arc up here be fun. Keep this flat, coming down, so tension. All wave going across here in the middle. Should be fun. Simple things back in here. Nice simple line. All right. So, start off my colors. I got a lot of dark ones. A lot of dark ones that are not going to be going into a lot of places, but I'm going to start off with the blues and phthalo greens. Let me see what this does. I'm going to put it back in here. This is full strength with no white in it. The blue part in the back. So if I just put in a little bit of oil into it, I can get it in there. And then just as you come forward with your color, going to switch over to the phthalo green side of it. That'll help visually bring you forward too. That green in there will help. So again, a lot of oil. I'm not saying a lot of oil, but this is very transparent. These are two transparent colors.
So you dip your brush in oil before you put it in the paint then?
I barely grabbed a little bit of oil now. Yeah. That's because I want it this thin too. I don't want a thick color here because I got other colors could be coming in on top of it.
Okay.
And basically I just want this color to mix with these other colors coming in. I think I probably missed my line here. I think I overshot right here. Anyway, off that edge. And then phthalo green at the bottom too. About halfway, I'm going to use it only though. This is should be almost a little bit more phthalo greenish even than blue in this area here. And just those little bands, the phthalo green will come forward in the painting and help create distance. So just getting a little bit of this stuff in here, just starting to see the shapes in the water, the lines in the water. You know, I think basically I'll just, the more full strength of the color I put in now, you know, the more I'll get the body of the water. Up here, back in here, I'm not going to do anything. I think this color here is close enough. Doesn't need detail there. Barely any detail in the second run of color water here. Most of it's going to go into this area. Let's see. This is going to be, like I said, I'm just going to go a little bit stronger in the phthalo green. I'm adding just a little phthalo green to this phthalo blue area here. And so it's almost, just has a little bit of blue in it, not quite as much. And I'm going to look at is these little areas right underneath where the wave ends or begins, or starts to take up here. And just get the couple ripples in the water. And put those guys in just a little stronger, heavier lines, just to start to create the shape. You can see it's almost like a watercolor. So the strength is so thin.
And that's because of the oil, right?
Yeah, just a little bit of, because of the oil, and these eyes are transparent colors to begin with, so they will just be that way. They're creating those rings here to the big, orange area here, and phthalo green on this back side. A lot of times what I'm doing is just building the structure too, what's going on, and hopefully some of these transparencies will get through to the painting at the end. Will still be there. That's about all I need to get there. There are some really rich ones. That's too soon because of those spots, orangey ones yet. Just go through my colors. Don't jump around too much. So next colors I'm going to be using, I'm going to go with alizarin in blue. And basically, you put that in this rock here. Well, it's not, it might not, I think it's a rock. It's covered with sand, so much sand. But I'm going to put that in the deeper, darker areas of the rock, the front edge, the nose of it, and then just that little area here where it comes down. Just the darkness in there, get it cool. Put in just a little bit of alizarin here and there. That doesn't look like I just used it one spot. That's half the thing. All right, so that's blue and alizarin. Doesn't get in very much more. The next we move the phthalo greens and the oxide red light. Those guys are going to come back in pretty much right on top of some of these cool purples. And basically they're going to shift you from the cool side to the warm side of where the light's coming from. That's all they do. It's not too heavy there. You might find it down in a couple rocks down in at the bottom of the painting. More on probably on the red side than the green side, but looks like I didn't really get too much of the red side in here too. Also, if you want to start putting in some of these bigger waves, change of color waves right in here. I'm doing that. This is again phthalo green and oxide red light, and it's very, very thin still. Move a few things over because I think bring it over here. So this side over here is going to be a little cooler. And these messed up lines I'm doing and stuff. I'm just really just looking at it, following the angles of the water, how it's flowing over things, and just really just matching it. So it's not like anything too crazy there. Here I'm going to switch over and go on to this next one. This is a transparent oxide, where you start to get the real brown showing through. This is really transparent oxide, a little bit of phthalo green in it. This is basically the top of that rock. And it's just only going to be in a little spot. I'm just going to, as you can see, my, brushes, starts to break up here a little bit sometimes. This richness, I want to see, it's going to be down in here on these little rocks down in here. Find it in these guys. And into where it breaks to sand and stuff. So it's a great little transition color. Also look for it into the wave, covering up a little bit of the rock. Use it, being as dark as it is, sometimes, it looks a little bit too dark at the first time you put it in. But then you got to realize you're going to be putting in other colors on top of this to lighten it as you go. Right now we're still on our top tier colors. We haven't even gotten very dark yet. Basically, all I can do is use the canvas for what I want to do. I'll also get rid of that light. Get rid of the canvas as soon as I can. Okay. I'm also going to use this color. I'm going to go, let me try the phthalo green side. This is a little stronger and stuff. I don't see a lot of it in here. My spots, I think that's about it as far as I have to go. But I was thinking about trying it in here, little spots lower in this this wave here. All the way around here, just a little bit of this darkness in there just to help start giving this, holding this down. That's what this color will do. Bring it down a little bit. Just that warmth and the green and stuff. Checking, noise checking. Going on. How much white do I really need to use? All right. Okay. The next colors. These ones are going to be more opaque. These are almost like second line colors. These are the oranges. Cad orange with a little bit of phthalo green. I saw that here. I know definitely could start to be some of the sand color here in the bottom here. You can start to see spots. It comes in here. Almost too soon to put this in. But this is a separate area. It really is. Its whole bottom. This almost has a line here that separates it from the top here. So since the color's here, I can use it. Really going to end up being into these mixes, softly blends. I was out yesterday plein air painting and trying, boy, it's that tough.
The wind?
Especially
or the rain?
Yeah, the rain was coming. You have to paint twice as quick as you thought you would. But even I was trying to use this big brush on a small canvas. It doesn't work. It's really tough on a small canvas. You don't get quite as much action. On a big thing here, I can do all the twists and everything else, and it leaves nice marks where when you concentrate them, you just get mush. So it's basically I gotta keep painting a lot of plein air with these things. I gotta find a smaller brush that does the same things. All right. This is cat orange, basically, without just a touch of phthalo in it. Just a little bit too strong for a lot of things, but a lot of times you find little areas inside waves. Put that little spot there, and you're going to get a lot of feeling of it floating over the way you want. So that's just in this flow area here. Yeah.
When I paint along with you, I never notice how much thinner your paint is than what I'm putting on. Are you dipping in oil all the time, or am I just putting too much paint on at once?
It could be. I do that, but most of the time when I dip it in oil, I'm really wiping it off. I'm just really changing colors.
Okay.
I'll dip it in oil in between, wipe it off. But there's probably a lot of oil residue still in.
Okay, so you dip it in oil and wipe it off between the colors. You don't just wipe it off. I get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so there's probably a lot of oil left on here.
Looks really nice.
Yeah, it's kind of goofy so far already.
No, I like it.
Oh, you're so nice.
The colors just work.
Yeah, it's a really good, nice little painting. It has a lot of nice colors that go together so well.
quickly and easily. I always like that. Quick and easy. I can live with that. All right. I'm going to go to my second tier colors, ones I put white in. Now, I'm going to look inside this first one. I want to get the color that's really underneath everything. And for these two things, and they got to separate. I want this one lighter. That one's a cooler color. This one's going to be a warmer color. So I'm going to just keep this pretty simple. I'm going to go with, I think it has red in it. I'm going to go with, let me try this, oxide red, phthalo green, or phthalo green with white on the red side. And again, I'm going to keep it pretty thin. It's going to look really too dark. I'm going to thin it out a little bit here. Sometimes you got to have darks to make your lights glow. So if you don't put anything in here, your colors are always going to be flat. So putting it in just a little bit stronger like this is red. Because I can always, white's so opaque, it's always going to go over this and make it stronger. So. Let's start to think about some of those things. Okay, you go back in the back one. I'm going to go with its partner, in the phthalo green side. Maybe not quite so phthalo greenish. Maybe just a little more. Right now it's slight red, a little bit more phthalo in it. Back in here, that's almost too dark. Turned totally dark. So I'm gonna go a little more phthalo greenish in this one. That's almost too dark. I'm gonna wipe some of that off. Just went a little bit too dark. That's about the value I want right there. I had a lot of that oxide on my brush. Yeah. So I want this red here come forward. Some fire. Keep this one down. More of an angle. Probably could take this blue up a little higher too. This one doesn't need all that extra. This here too. All right. Just trying to get the darks in there before I start to dive in fully. Little area is going to look at tension, create little things that you kind of like squeeze together from the top of a wave to a new wave here, or the bottom of a wave to the top, where they just kind of squish together, so you have little tension points and make sure they're kind of move around, because those kind of always draw you in too. So you look for creating a few of those to make sure you're, slowing things down and squeezing things and people, in the right areas. So this one needs to get a little bit less here. That's better. Push there. Okay. Yeah, trying to muddied up everything nicely. Nice job there. Okay. So I'm going to start working on the water, finishing up the water now. Just got my darks in, really kind of way too dark, beautifully way too dark. And then same here. That's good. That's good. I like that. I'm going to start back in here, basically
Let me get rid of that white stripe up the top. That's almost really kind of weird. It's kind of hazy. It's kind of a hazy color. I thought it was going to be a little more phthalo greenish on the red side here. No, that's not it. Oh, it looks just like it. I'll put some blue into it. There we go. So I have phthalo green and alizarin in the bottom of it. Then I'm going to come back with just cobalt blue and a little phthalo green in my color here for the coming back on top. I want to take that right to the horizon. A little bit funky. But you know, the easiest thing, and I've spent more time on it than I should have. Okay, close enough. I'm going to lighten that up from the bottom a little bit too. Okay. So the water back there, I'm going to go with more blue and phthalo green mixed second tier colors. And what I want to do is, since I got oil in here and stuff, I want to be able to drag this one color consistently across here. See if I can get a lot of action. I mean, it started working out pretty good at the beginning, and then it just kind of broke up. So a couple lines, color. Almost too bright. Too blue. Go a little more phthalo green color into the top of it. All right, put a little more phthalo green and in this color. A little bit darker too. And I'm going to put this closer on its bottom, on this stripe, this shape. I'm going to put it at the bottom part of it, darker green right in here. And that will flatten out the water, where before it was just floating up. You put the contrast in the front here of the shape. It'll flatten this color out. It'll come forward faster. So, but of course, then you get to the highlight. Yeah, I got to get rid of this stripe yet. The stripe just kind of came out of nowhere. Pretty clean. As I get in front, I'm going to go to a more greenish version of this color. Again, I'm going to hit this. We're going to go back and use just the strength of that color too. Again, put it in lower as I go. Definitely like it should be on the green side. A little bit too much blue. Right in here. Start to cut apart the these angles here a little bit. So I got a little bit more stronger paint without using. I didn't not use this is the no white in this color too. So yeah. So Just thought I'd better go back in and just define these guys just a little bit stronger here. Because I'll never, these darks would be harder to get in at the end. Okay. Another thing when you paint these guys, not all these waves and inner waves, these deserve the same amount of love. You know, you don't give them all the same. You really pick out the ones that are going to make something happen. You know, really do something. Where some of these guys just are there. Okay, again, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to add some more phthalo green to that color. This is just down in here. I just want to get this just a little bit deeper. That didn't do much. Yeah, again. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to go to my secondary colors, and this is right now. That's going to go right to. This is phthalo green on the phthalo green side with just a little bit of blue in it. This might even be too light. I'm thinking, just looking at it, going, I'm going to hedge my bet. I'm going to add, just take it back up to the second top tier colors. Just add some really darken this thing down to probably closer to an 8. I think the color I had there's perfect for here, but it's right in here. I put it in, it's going to look a little bit too dark, too light. But again, I proved myself wrong after going in here and putting this in. No, this definitely needs this color too. I'm just going to do another value. Just need a different value of it. Looks like. All right, just a little hint of oxide brown from the transparent when I painted the top here, and just a little spot there. Digging in here. So, doing all this work, and I haven't even put in the bird yet. So, all right, I'm just going to hit the tops of the waves on this with this one. They don't take up much. I look for really just lines here. I'm looking for just a small little glints and see where they go. Oh, I still got a lot of dark in my brush here, so this color came in a little dark yet. Should be lightening up as I go, so it's always good to start in the farther back areas as your brush starts to take the color in full. Right now it's still mixing with the little bit darker version of it. Colors, things are so subtle sometimes. Okay. So maybe I just gotta go to the lighter version. Maybe I just gotta go really to the lighter version of it. These highlights. Look at all that transparent color in here. It's just about it right there. This color should be, I should have to do too much more. Look for these. Little spots of this brighter yellow, brighter white added to it after that pale green. This, you know, I was planning on doing a really hitting this area with it. So now I'm done with that. I can come down here and see what it does. Might have to make a little bit lighter version of this. Might not be doing as much as I thought it would. It does get really blue in this section here. So maybe I'll be have too much more to do here. Really, I'm just following what's going on, getting the tips of the waves as I get in here. Just seeing what this color, this is phthalo green, blue, white. Yeah. See what happens when I mix it in with these colors. They're down in here. In a few spots. No, I want to get lighter. Like right in here. Stop having a little bit too close to the edge. Much there, so let's bring that same idea up here. Another things, because everything's oily, you know, twisting that brush off makes more and more sense. Okay. Might have to add this a little bit more white to this color too now. Almost see where it's going here. This is the brightest white. Now it's as strong as it gets right now. Need to get back in here. Right. Got a lot of, well, I got a lot of this blue green on my brush, and I hate to, you know, go back and forth warms again. I'd rather see on the cool side. So I'm going to go to the blue version of this before I switch off. And I can find that a lot of that, I think, right here by the, it's going to really stand out as blue and against this orange that's going in here. And that's going to be right in this little pocket right in here. It's, I say orange, but it's more green. But I know it has a lot of that in it. See this blue here. This section here coming through. Some things around. So this is just blue, a little bit of phthalo green in it. I'll probably see what it can do back in here too a little bit. There's a few little spots. Definitely needs a little bit more oomph, a little different. You know, there's sometimes you're using the color so much in one spot. You just want to find a different color to use, or else it just kind of gets kind of bland. I just want to break up the shape here a little bit too with it. Just gets a little bit. It's going to be very flat, so I'm going to have to lighten this up a little bit more in the front. I mean, I put that dark in there. I'm not trying to wipe that out. I'm trying to give it just a little more cut, a little more. Trouble with my words today. That's going on. So I really kept them dark. Contrast. That's what I was thinking. Trying to put the light in there, get some of the darks already put in. Trying to create a little cut contrast. Oh, geez. Here, definitely. I'm going to jump now and go to green. This is the green, phthalo green, lit cad yellow, just a little bit of red in it. I got to mark this spot here now. And I'm going to start at the top, get the main thing, and just let it kind of come off the brush here and mix a little bit, make sure the weights at the top's good. Come back in and get the second areas here where I see it. And now at this point, that color's on this side of the brush has a lot of that green in it. So it's like all of a sudden, okay. I mean, now it has blue in it. So it's not going to be quite as strong. Then it just gets a little bit more. And I can come back in here and put it in, like flip it over. Sometimes just go that light goes right on top of the wave, top edge. So you leave the light, and then so the bottom edge is very dark. So that's that bright green spot. It's going to definitely, it's not going to be there constantly. It's going to dissipate a little bit when I get a few other colors in here. I'll look for it in a few spots here like this, where I had that orange put in here, just a little more green to it, yellow green into these little spots. I did it there, and you just see how it just takes you inside the thing, creates a different dimension to it. So look for over here. Definitely going to mix up with the kind of oranges and stuff. Don't want too much down here. I don't want to make too many great strokes there. Just going to be wasted. But now it's just starting to really mess up color-wise. That green's just not showing through very much. I mean, just enough to warm up things. Beautiful place to put them on top of this rock here, making sure my rock don't have too many of the same shapes. I'm breaking these things up so these two are combined a little bit more better. Drinking a couple of this thing, making sure that, and then taking it off the edge. Okay. See if I can get a little more green back in here. All right. Now this is where I put a little bit of that warm green into some of this. This is blue and phthalo green, so it's a little bit yellow green going into it. And I'm going back in here, putting it in this wave here, right on top of that blue, getting that area. You're gonna find it also if you go around this wave a little bit on the top. You're gonna find it right on the top edge, that wave. So that's that just aqua phthalo green on the green side, phthalo green and blue with white mixed in with this that orange, this mixed in with this bright yellow green there. And then hitting it with on the blue side, that same, basically just a little bit more blue into that color. Just for a little bit of things in here. It worked better. All right, put a couple down now into here. These guys can be richer. Here, so I'll just end up nibbling at this green here and toning it down little by little, toning it down into its rightful spot. Okay. All right. Well, no, that's what I'll be doing there. I'm probably the next part is probably looking for a little bit darker value.
In this area here, just a little bit of some more red showing through in here. This is oxide red, phthalo green mix. Basically, I'm using right in here. Well, the red side. A little bit too pink. That's good. I'll get it in here. Fill up my areas here. It's usually warmer, so that should go over here on this other side. Try this. Yeah, I think on the green side. Yeah, a little mix of colors here, and these little waves down in here. Finding that some of these top colors here that are going over sand and things like that are more phthalo green and transparent oxide than they are alizarin, or better than oxide light and green. So it's more the transparent color. Just got that warmth in it, but then it still has the green in it. So, all right, just leave little places a little left here. There we go. Now it's all little teeny stuff here. This is pretty much done. Except for the highlights coming into it. Yeah, that's what it should be. And this is that transparent oxide with phthalo green again coming into back end of this guy a little bit. This big yellow area here. I'm going to put a little bit of that on the top edge too. Got this beautiful edge that kind of just came out of the brush. Now I'm just going to try to keep it, but add a little bit of darkness to it too. All right, that's about. Let me get to the waves, and we'll get to burning. For the highlights, we'll do all the rest of that. Might go just a little bit long too, Sarah. On this one, just because of that little front things we did. The next I'm gonna do is this stuff, but that's why I want a bristle brush for. I'm gonna big bristle brush, my biggest bristle brush I have. Make sure it's clean. You're doing a lot of lighter colors. I'm gonna do my midtones first in here in these pinks, and try to figure out some of the blues and some of the things that are in here. I'm gonna go with first. I'm gonna go with
alizarin and blue with white.
That's a kind of a purple. It's going to go in pretty light, but you know, it's going to got to get in these things. I have this already have this warm red in here, and I don't want to waste all of it in here. So I'm looking for crevices, anything like that, or top parts, you know, where just a little bit. I got the warmth already in there, so I'm just looking for almost if I was painting clouds things. You can see a lot of action right in here. Stuff. So really to get some of that lightness to pop there, you got to have that dark in there. So that's what I'm putting in. Putting it in with, like I said, a bristle brush. Same back in here. This back in here probably can go a little bit more on the bluer side. You didn't have to have quite the strength that's, you know, help with the things. Now it's basically a blue wave and the purple wave. It's okay. Rinse off that stuff. Yeah. Just looking down in here, going anywhere I can get a little purple, more purple white, putting in here. Where does it help? Okay, get that out of there. That should be enough. I'm probably gonna have to get a little bit of more worms going in here, but I'm gonna start with the back one here, doing in the stronger things with the bristle brush. I'm gonna start off, instead of going too bright yet, I'm gonna go with another mid-tone back there. This is phthalo green and oxide red light with a lot of white in it, so it's like a 3. And I'm gonna start to get the big sections coming in here, rolling in here. Gonna be lightening it up. Now this is probably almost too dark, but it's all right. Gotta come in handy when I do this little area here. Get that little bit of twist there. I don't want to go too bright too quick. So I'm just kind of slowing it down. But it's only going to get a couple colors. This one's going to get a lot more colors. So back there, I'm going to go with I'm going to go with the cat orange phthalo green mix with white. Let me see how bright this is. Going in over here. That's almost too bright. That's too bright. Good. Too bright. That'll go up front. So I'm just going to touch it a little bit more into place. And I can at least know where to take the color. Almost still too bright. So it just mixes a little bit. Okay. So value, I might be able to get by. Let me see if this works. No, that won't work. But that definitely goes in here. This is transparent oxide. It's phthalo green.
It goes right. Yeah. Trying to get it in here now. So that's transparent oxide, phthalo green, just mostly on the transparent oxide side. Let me see what this one does. This is on the phthalo green side, but it has a lot of white in it. Transparent oxide, a lot of white. Because I thought it, but you know, that was orange. That just jumped out too much. So, yes. Value-wise, it sits back. It's not too brunch. I just want to break these guys up because of they start too many lining up at the same place. What I'm going to try and do is just take this and roll my brush in here and get most of that stuff done. Especially when I get in here, just push it a little bit, roll it, and off. A nice squish. And then you just have to come back and get a few teeny areas. Make sure these guys don't too doggone similar. All right. Well, that's good. That's good to find out where this one is, because you know that everything else I can go brighter with, so I can start with that almost. Let me see what happens. I start with this. This is oxide red, phthalo green, a lot of white. Might be able to get it, use it in some of these areas. Maybe add some more white to it. That was a pretty good color. So only used a couple colors on that back one. The front one I can use a couple more extra colors, but not many. Try not to. Try not to. But I want to. There's a kind of a couple of drags here I want to get by twisting the brush and just rolling it out. And if nothing else, to start them with this color and come back with just another color right on top of them. So, okay. So break this wave down into sections. Big wave, big sections. See which ones kind of go together. You know, there's some waves fall behind, like the second spot here, it just falls behind this little shape here. So let me see if this works. Almost need to go more pink. I'm just going to throw it down here, I think. Okay. Just going to start building the top of this guy now. Waves. This is a pretty good overall color. That was a lot darker than I was expecting to go. I have all these highlights, colors. Now I'm not going to be using quite as strongly, which is good. I don't want to go too far with this color either, but let's keep going. This is always one little points on this thing is you overworked it. So I'm really gonna just hit the top areas here first. Okay. That color will come out of that. All right. So basically use the same color in both guys. This one's used more for the body. For this one, I'm using it for the highlights. Now I'm going to come back in and I've got to find the richness here. This is where I was thinking this alizarin was going to be. Let me just touch this in here. Alizarin in white. Maybe I'm thinking at how bright I have to go. Maybe it's in between these two. I don't like it too much, but I see that right behind his head, so it's right in here. So it's a real pink. Now all I'm going to do is roll my brush and leave it. When you get those kind of nuggies here, those are the ones you want. And you can only get them by rolling your brush. Except for extra color in there. That's where I didn't mix it perfect, for perfect color. That's really making that pink shoot out of there. So don't put too many strokes in the same area though. Sometimes I like to push my brush. Does a little bit neater section, just pushing it up than just doing it. I would say definitely look for pinks in the water. It's right on the foam. You're always going to find it. Okay. So even down in here. Just get a little bit more color on this side, more pink. So I'm just going through my pinks. I'm going to probably put a few back farther in here even. But that helps. That's really a great job. Okay, just a few more pinks right on top here. This guy. just to break them up. All right. Wow. That was good. That was really good. I'm going to go add just a little purple to it. Still be on the red side. You can get all these highlights here. Yeah, you could go a little bit warmer, it looks like. So a little more, sometimes maybe cad red in there is the right color instead of a too pinky all the time. Works there and stuff. It works really good in the high key stuff. Oops. Too much cad. That's what happens when you grab it with your brush. But look for some cad red warms in this guy. It really helps set off the pinks of the cooler pinks. We haven't even gotten to the yellows, but that will just break up these main shapes here. Just a little cad red mix of white, just the same value as almost the alizarin. Just to break it up over those purples. Starting to get there. Look for it probably in the back here too. You get this, a few spots in here too. Okay. All right. Let's say there's a lot more work to do here, but it's going to take a little bit more time on that. And I don't want to ruin everything, overwork things. So it's almost a good time to stop there with and then put in the bird. My bird, now this is, I moved some things around. I lost the distance between these two. I squished it down a little bit, making this a little bit bigger. That one turned up, supposed to be smaller, ended up bigger too. But I still got room to push it up, stuff like that. There's gonna be a lot of little finger work going on in here and smooshing things around. And like I said, with the highlights stuff, it's all the good kind of stuff to do. Just push your fingers in there. Fun stuff. You know, I got an edge here just to soften an edge. Okay. The bird. The bird needs to get, I need the bird pretty big. I want the bird about that big. So I'm going to mark it. I think I want that bird. I want to even cut through here. He's going to stop probably right about in on the other side of this rock, probably right in here. So his body's going to go right in here. I don't want to lose a lot of this cool orange thing, so it's going to move him up a little bit. He's going to come across it probably right in here. Tail's going to be right in about here. Start there. Tail's here, width-wise, about that width. Then I come down here, cut into that little bit of there. Okay. Angle-wise, pick it up there. So his body is going to end up right in the middle of that section, probably. Might take it up just a hair more. I'm just pulling the paint right out of that area. But it's just an eye drop, basically, a shape, you know. Okay. Neck's going to come out of that a little bit, but then go pretty much straight up. I don't want to go any farther than that. I really want to keep this guy back a little bit farther. too far with this. Notice the waves almost come down on his head. Bring it back around. Get those shapes right. That's okay. That'll work. Probably went just a little bit too high on this. It's coming out. All right. Touch the outside edge and just soften those things back in here. Almost creating a silhouette, huh? Make sure your background's about right before you get in here. So I want to disconnect these guys a little bit more. So much in painting, you just, you try to have a plan for, and then it just keeps changing. So comes in here a little bit more. Like to go there, and then kick out up there, and backwards here, and down into there. Let's do the hard stuff first. I'm gonna just do his legs real quick. I'm gonna use like probably a reddish color, reddish green. So phthalo green, maybe a little oxide red, maybe warm one. Just a little bit more red in that I can see. I'm just gonna drop my knife on the line here. His leg.
Jim, I have to go, but thank you so much.
No problem. Thanks for showing up.
Looks
I
great.
appreciate it.
Looks great. I'll see you. Let me know when the next ones are, okay?
Okay, I will.
Thank
Take
you.
her
Have a
easy.
good trip. Bye.
All right. Put them in my knife. That way they're nice, clean, go with a lot of color. Yeah. Now I can paint the rest of the legs in. Parts of the legs. I'm gonna be working on this color here. So that color there, definitely gonna be on the orangier side. Definitely want the orangier side. I'm gonna use a nice synthetic for this. Like I said, we'll go a little bit longer, but not too much. I'm gonna start with a cad red or cad orange and phthalo green mix underneath.
here. This will go pretty fast. Get that in, definitely in the neck. And up here too, look at it on the opposite side. Underneath here, it's all reflective color, and then up here, it's sunlight around the head. Miles get his eyeball. While I'm doing that. That might be a little strong, but yeah, I think I'm gonna use the. This is the sand color of it. No, did it do it? Okay. This is sand. This is basically phthalo green, cat orange, and phthalo green side with a lot of white. That becomes a seafoam green. So taking that one, and it's going to go right in almost the middle of a lot of the stuff, and do a lot of this bird going up here too. It has warmth in it, has coolness in it. So just trying to get that kink in its neck here, right spot. Gotta be right here. It's got to have enough room to get around, make that arc. It's gonna find it right bottom of his face. Got enough orange in it. You know, start to push back that green that orange I put in here. That green a little bit. This is a good color because of what it's going to be able to do with some of these other colors. The blue that's going to come in here. Stuff. So did not really see this color as much as I thought I did. I've seen a lot more of it. I'm going to come back in with some. This is go a little darker. It's going to go on the blue side too, right here.
What are those colors?
That is this right here is like seafoam green. Now I'm putting in this blue, putting in blue water basically in here. Just has a little phthalo green in it, but it's on the blue side. And it just a little bit over, it's more of the second tier color than too much white in it. So it's really kind of has a lot of richness to it. Right there. I think if I bring that color down a little bit, it's going to turn to a darker green with this orange. Should get a lot of these colors back in here in the top. So, and let me see, value wise, it might be a little light. Keep playing with it. So I would say right on this edge here, it's going to be a little bit darker, right where I'm going to put the highlight. Got a lot of orange I put in there already. putting this blue. This is basically the little bit of phthalo green in this blue. It's basically one of the first colors we mix with a little white. I'm just going to come back in. Just a little bit of oil on my brush and I can get this color in. This last little color here, this is green. This is that bright yellow green we put in the water here. And this is the one that I was mixing back in here with the blue stuff. So it's just got a little bit of green to it, a little blue to it. I just want to put in just enough oil to be on this leg here too. In here. Backwards, more orange. Back leg right here. Just a little spot. Just catch a little orange. Do it. Gotta run my brush through a few times. Might have to bring this green in again. Just to tone that tone this orange out a little bit more down a little bit farther. You know what I'm going to do? All right. Got it. We're done. We've got it figured it out. I'm going to bring this color back in into the neck a little bit more too. Kind of got a little dark. Okay. Let me see if this works. This is that really bright green we use down in here. I'm going to run it, line of it right in the middle of this bird. And this back thing right in the middle of it, in that blue area. Maybe even heighten this one area here a little bit more. So it got that cooler green underneath. Now I just put this warm yellow green right in the middle of it. So it's going to come out at us. So that color's not flat anymore. You know, if I need to, I might have to add just a little yellow to it, right around its leg area, right in here, just to pop it up. That will get us to the highlight color. I'm going to do two highlight colors. I'm going to go to a better synthetic. That's an old synthetic. It's going to beat. Need a good one to kind of cut this whole long paint. I'm going to put it in with the top edge here. I'm going to bring this down a little bit too for a second. Let's wave here a little bit farther for get a cleaner line. See if this shows up. Gonna keep it cool because these colors back in here are a little warm. So it's gonna go with see if this works. This is Glazing, blue, and tons of white. And thickness of paint. This is where I will grab a little bit of oil in my brush, then grab a lot of paint. And I'm going to start right at this corner here. and then just draw that in, redraw that in, that top highlight in. Just let it come down and let the paint come off, twist it. Thin it out at the very end. Okay, that worked really well there. I'm going to put one hot color right on top of it. But before I do that, I'm going to do the same thing on its neck, back of its neck. Same color. Yeah, same color. I might go just once. I'm going to start off real thin. Put a little more pressure on until I get to the line, final line. Probably end up having to do a few of those up there. And there's a few down in here too. Okay. I'm ready to go down. The last color I'm going to do there. This is a cad yellow and white. My brightest color. I'm just going to put it on the arc of that line. That should do it. Oh, that worked nice. That's what I want to use. Okay, the cat orange and white. Right on the back of its head. We're gonna have to work out the little bit of things here though. I go back to my knife and put in his beak with be a reddish blue. It has to have cab red in it. Might do it with the same feet color. Start there. Put a fish in its mouth would be great too. That should be really red. That'll be it. Clean fingers and go back in and push some things around. Yeah, I'm gonna have to probably thin out that neck a little bit. But sometimes it's not thinning it out, it's just getting the value right. Make it turn, thins it out. Maybe on the back edge, inside edge on this side, just going a little darker on this side here. Do it. Okay, much better than I thought. Not that I thought, but it's a good place to stop. I'm gonna have to work on this. Now I can work on this guy back in here. I have this ratio of light and dark now to play with. You know, So that worked out really well. Here, I'll bring it in for you. So I didn't do much, and you can see how fast it went in.
Mhm.
And you try to get that little rainbow effect of reflective color oranges to blues on the top against, but you want that line right there as dark as you can get right by the highlight. That really pops the highlight. So lots of fun colors in that one. So Sarah, what did you do? Just you.
Yep.
I gotta do it. Sorry. Is that okay?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, Sarah.
I appreciate your feedback. So of course.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sarah, that's gorgeous.
Thank you.
Really good color. Your colors, you put them in very clean. That's really nice. I mean, your colors are very clean. That's one of the toughest little areas to do on paintings is just don't let them get dirty.
Yeah.
And I like your big strokes. Your strokes are coming along real well. Now, just finding those final little noogies that come out of things, make sure the big areas have enough definition in them. And that's really good. I love your wave in the back. That thing's really beautiful.
Oh,
Yeah, the front one, just like mine, a little bit more work. And then, we didn't put any boats in, but who cares? They're just little triangle twists of the brush. That's all you want to do.
okay.
Really good color, though. Man, you really nailed the color. Hopefully, yeah, just like mine. Good job. I appreciate you showing up all this time. I love it.
Thank you. This was fun.
Yeah, I like this one. I think it's a good one to finish off with.
Mm-hmm.
Finish off a session. One that kind of has everything. Yet definitely, had a little knife work. Probably could use a lot more. But it's kind of fun. It has a little bit of everything in it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, Sarah, I hopefully you'll join a few more of these. We got summer session going to be starting up in a couple weeks. Probably it's only going to be like 3 or 4. 4. Yeah, but I got a workshop in between, so it's always going to knock everybody off a little schedule.
Okay.
So,
well, I look
right.
for the next session. I had a good time taking these classes. So, yeah.
Oh, good. Thanks. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, and thanks for staying a little late with us. And not too bad.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see you on down the road.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Enjoy your week.
All right. Yeah, enjoy your week.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to you.
Yep.
Happy
Bye.
Memorial Day, right?
Happy Memorial Day. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.